Tesla last year reduced its prices in China twice. BYD increased its prices. We're direct competitors. We're so much ahead of BYD. I mean, BYD is so much ahead of Tesla in China. It's like it's almost ridiculous. And if you look at BYD, which most people have never heard of, if you count all the manufacturing space they have in China to make cars, it would amount to a big percentage of all the land in Manhattan Island. And nobody ever heard of them a few years ago.
Well-known Berkshire Hathaway fund manager Charlie Munger argues that BYD is beating Tesla in China, but the actual market situation seems more complex. Munger was asked whether he would favor investing in Tesla or BYD, to which he promptly replied that the choice was straightforward. Munger explained that Tesla had decreased its prices in China twice last year, while BYD had increased theirs, indicating that the two companies were competing directly. According to Munger, BYD is so far ahead of Tesla in China that the disparity between them is almost laughable. But before we move towards the video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to receive more interesting and informative videos.
We're not a mini Berkshire. We're not going to have a big correlation between us and what Berkshire does. You could understand why some people would sell Berkshire's BYD stock at 50 times earnings. At the current price of BYD stock, little BYD is worth more than the entire Mercedes Corporation, market capitalization. So it's not a cheap stock. On the other hand, it's a very remarkable company. And by the way, I want to tell people the great contribution I made to the success of BYD. We got into it through Li Lu, and it was a little company that knocked off the Japanese cell phones. And the chairman, who's kind of a genius, said, I want to buy a bankrupt little crappy auto plant and go into the auto business from dead scratch when he's making cell phones, little tiny nothing company. And both Li Lu and I tried to talk him out of it. We said, please don't do this dumb thing. If you get your head handed to you going into the auto business, little BYD and so forth. Well, last year they made more than $2 billion in the auto business from that standing start at zero. It's unheard of. But Li Lu and I deserve all the credit because we tried to get him, we tried to talk about him doing what worked so well. Which shows that there's some accident in life.
In late 2020, the shares of Alibaba took a significant hit following a speech given by the company's co-founder and former executive chairman, Jack Ma. During his speech, Ma criticized Chinese banks and regulators, accusing state-run banks of adopting a pawnshop mentality and advocated for the introduction of new players that can offer credit to those without collateral. During the Daily Journal's annual shareholder meeting, Charlie Munger stated that investing in the Chinese e-commerce and technology company Alibaba was a significant mistake on his part. He admitted, "I consider Alibaba to be one of the worst mistakes I have ever made. I was enamored by the concept of their standing in the Chinese internet."
Jack Ma was a dominant capitalist in Alibaba. And one day he got up and made a public speech where he basically said the Communist Party is full of malarkey. They don't know their ass from their elbow. They're no damn good, and I'm smart. And of course, the Communist Party didn't particularly like his speech. And pretty soon he just sort of disappeared from view for months on end. And now he's out of BYD. It was pretty stupid. It's like poking a bear in the nose with a sharp stick. It's not smart. And Jack Ma got way out of line by popping off the way he did to the Chinese government. And of course it hurt Alibaba. But I regard Alibaba as one of the worst mistakes I ever made. In thinking about Alibaba, I got charmed with the idea of their position on the Chinese internet. And I didn't stop to realize they're still a goddamn retailer. It's going to be a competitive business, the internet. It's not going to be a cakewalk for everybody.
According to Munger, AI is a double-edged sword. He acknowledged that it can be beneficial in certain areas, such as insurance underwriting. However, he expressed doubt that it can solve complex problems like curing cancer. Munger observed that while people have attempted to use AI in areas like insurance underwriting and purchasing office buildings, he remains skeptical about the extent of its usefulness.
I think artificial intelligence is very important, but there's also a lot of crazy hype on the subject. Artificial intelligence is not going to cure cancer. It's not going to do everything that we want done. And there's a lot of nonsense in it too. So I regard it as a mixed blessing, all this artificial intelligence. Some people have used it in some things like insurance underwriting pretty well. But a lot of people try and use it in ordinary things like buying office buildings or something. And I think that's way more, I don't think it's going to help anybody buy an office building. Not very much anyway.
Charlie Munger has been very vocal about his dislike for cryptocurrency, going so far as to say that he wishes it had never been created. He believes that Bitcoin is both stupid and evil, and only useful to kidnappers and extortionists. Munger has also expressed his dissatisfaction with the digital currency's acceptance in the United States. He likens crypto to rat poison and a venereal disease, and believes that buying or trading it is almost insane. Furthermore, Munger has contended that investing in companies that have a genuine interest in tangible businesses would be a far superior investment strategy.
Sometimes I call it crypto crappo, and sometimes I call it, well, crypto shit. And it's just ridiculous that anybody would buy this stuff. And it isn't, you can think of hardly nothing on earth that has done more good to the human race than currency, national currencies. They were absolutely required to turn man from a goddamn successful ape into modern successful humans in human civilization, because it enabled all these convenient exchanges. So if somebody says, I'm going to create something that sort of replaces the national currency, it's like saying I'm going to replace the national air. You know, it's asinine. It isn't even slightly stupid. It's massively stupid. And of course, it's very dangerous. And of course, the governments were totally wrong to permit it. And of course, I'm not proud of my country for allowing this crap, what I call the crypto shit, it's worthless, it's no good, it's crazy. It'll do nothing but harm, and it's antisocial to allow it. And the guy who made the correct decision on this is the Chinese leader. The Chinese leader took one look at crypto shit, and he says, not in my China. And boom, oh well, there isn't any crypto shit in China. He's right and we're wrong. Well, and there is no good argument on the other side. I can't supply it. But when you're dealing with something as awful as crypto shit, it's just unspeakable. It's an absolute horror, and I'm ashamed of my country that so many people believe in this kind of crap, and that the government allows it to exist. It is totally, absolutely crazy, stupid gambling with enormous house odds for the people on the other side, and they cheat in addition to cheating in the betting, and it's just crazy. So that is something that there's only one correct answer for intelligent people. There is just totally avoid it. And avoid all the people that are promoting it.
That concludes today's video. We would like to hear your opinions on investing in Bitcoin. Do you share Munger's perspective, or do you hold a different viewpoint? Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you found this video informative, kindly show your support by hitting the thumbs up button. Do subscribe to our channel for the latest videos and updates.